my summer adventures and new school year. Hello, friends. My name is Mariam, and I'm 11 years old. I'm so happy to be back in school and to meet all of you. I'm excited to tell you about the fun things I did during the summer vacation. And I hope to hear all about your summer too. This summer was very special for me because I did so many exciting activities and had adventures that I'll never forget. Let me start by telling you about one of my favorite trips. It was a trip to my grandmother's house, which is always something I look forward to every year. My grandmother lives in a small village that's surrounded by green hills, tall trees, and beautiful gardens. Every time we visit her, it feels like stepping into a peaceful, magical world. This year, the trip was even more special because we spent a lot of time together. And she told me some amazing stories about her life when she was younger. When we arrived at my grandmother's house, she greeted us with the biggest smile. Her house always smells like fresh baked bread and flowers, and the first thing we did was have a delicious meal together. She had prepared my favorite dish, which is chicken with rice and a side of fresh salad. After we ate, my grandmother and I went outside to her garden. Her garden is full of colorful flowers, herbs, and even some vegetables like tomatoes and cucumbers. She loves to spend time in her garden, and she always tells me about the different plants and how to take care of them. While we were walking through the garden, my grandmother started telling me stories about her childhood. She grew up in the same village where she lives now, and she used to spend her summers playing outside with her brothers and sisters. She told me about a time when she and her sister got lost in the woods behind the village while they were picking berries. But luckily, their father found them before it got dark. Hearing these stories made me realize how different her childhood was from mine, but it also made me feel connected to her. One evening, while we were sitting on the porch and watching the sunset, my grandmother told me a story about a special trip she took when she was my age. She had traveled with her parents to the beach for the first time, and she was so excited to see the ocean. I told her that I was going to the beach with my parents in a few days, and she smiled and said, "You're going to have the best time, Mariam. The ocean is like nothing you've ever seen before." After visiting my grandmother, my parents and I packed our bags for our trip to the beach. I had never been to the beach before, so I didn't know what to expect, but I was thrilled. We left early in the morning, and the drive to the beach was long, but I didn't mind because I was so excited. I kept imagining what the sea would look like and what kind of adventures we would have there. When we finally arrived, the first thing I noticed was the sound of the waves crashing against the shore. The beach was even more beautiful than I had imagined. The sand was soft and warm under my feet, and the ocean stretched out as far as I could see, sparkling in the sunlight. I couldn't wait to jump into the water. But first, we set up our spot on the beach. My mom spread out a big blanket, and we put up an umbrella to give us some shade. We brought a picnic basket with sandwiches, fruit, and drinks, so we wouldn't get hungry while we played. After we were all settled in, my dad asked, "Are you ready to learn how to swim, Mariam?" I was a little nervous because I had never swum before, but I trusted my dad. He's a great swimmer, and he promised to stay by my side the whole time. We walked to the edge of the water, and I dipped my toes in. The water was cool and refreshing, and I felt a little braver. My dad started by teaching me how to float. He showed me how to lie back in the water and relax my body, letting the water hold me up. At first, it was hard because I kept feeling like I was going to sink. But my dad kept encouraging me. "You're doing great, Mariam. Just relax and trust the water," he said. After a few tries, I finally started to float. I couldn't believe it. I was floating in the ocean, and it felt like magic. Next, my dad showed me how to kick my legs and move my arms to swim. He held on to me while I practiced, and little by little, I started to get the hang of it. Before I knew it, I was swimming on my own. I was so happy. We spent the whole day playing in the ocean. My mom joined us too, and we played games like water tag and splashing each other. We also built a huge sandcastle on the beach, with tall towers and a moat around it. My dad helped me dig the moat, and we used seashells to decorate the castle. It was the biggest sandcastle I had ever made. At the end of the day, as the sun was setting, we sat on the beach and watched the waves. I felt so happy and peaceful. It was one of the best days of my life. After our trip to the beach, it was time to get ready for the new school year. I always like to help my parents with back-to-school preparations. First, we went shopping for school supplies. I got new notebooks, pencils, and a backpack. I love getting new school supplies because it makes me feel excited to start learning again. At home, I helped my mom organize my school things. We packed my backpack together, making sure I had everything I needed for the first day of school. I also helped my little sister get ready for her school year. She's only 5 years old, so this is her first year in kindergarten, and she's a bit nervous. I told her that school is fun and that she'll make lots of new friends. We picked out her clothes together and practiced her alphabet. Now that I'm back at school, I'm so happy to see all of you and to be in this class. I'm excited about meeting new friends and learning new things this year. I hope we can all help each other and have fun together. I've already had such an amazing summer, and I know this school year will be just as special. Thank you for listening to my stories.